before we jump into this video, if you haven't signed up for the Fronos Photo email list, you can click on the screen right now. Look for this orange box, put your name, email address into the box, hit send it, and I will send you a free guide to capturing motion in low-light situations. Jared Polin, Fronos Photo.com, and what you're about to see are the 37 to 39 of the keeper images that I captured when in Israel, and the stories that go behind the images and why I made them, how I made them. But you're going to see the final edited images. If you want to go and see how I edited them, I did a 48-minute long video showing you the process from start to finish and the mindset that I had while I was editing them. You can go ahead and click on the screen right now. That's going to take you over to that 48-minute long editing video for those people that like to watch the process that I go through. So here we go. Let's look at the images that I have here and talk about them. So this was in Jerusalem. This was in, I guess, the Muslim quarter. There's a bunch of different areas. You've got the Muslim quarter, the Christian quarter, the Jewish quarter, and there's a bunch of stores and shops and all of these different things where you can buy sodas, you can get apple food, you can buy, I don't know, tchotchkes. It seemed to be a lot of Chinese stuff, a lot of China-made stuff, not a lot of local. It seems that it was a very touristy area. Now, we were taken to areas that weren't as touristy, which was pretty cool. I preferred the non-touristy areas because it was more real. So what I was doing here, I love the details in this. You can see the 58. I didn't even see this initially when I did the images. You can see that there's these stalls, and those are where the people have different shops, and there was a camera right here. I didn't even notice there was a closed-circuit camera. But this guy has, if you look right here closely, this is his braking system for going down this hill with his cherries. He has his cherries, and his braking system is this. He puts his foot on it as he wheels down the hill. I got out of his way because obviously he needed to come our way where I was sitting. I wanted to do a low angle. I got my lines pretty darn straight. It looks like they're pretty darn close and even left to right, just a small hair. But I went with black and white because the color just, I didn't like it at the time. I liked that it was dark. You know, you got the light from the outside pouring in, because this is an outside market, pouring in on the top of his head. I didn't want to go in and fill in his face because it would look too fake. By the way, there's Simon Pollock. He was on our trip as well in the background, but you can't really notice him. So that's that image. Moving forward, not one of my favorite images. Didn't spend too much time with it. The lighting was very, very harsh where these guys were playing backgammon, but I figured it would be worth it to at least get a shot. I did a wide shot after that, which is this, of everybody looking. So a part of a photo story of Jerusalem, this could work. This helps tell the story of maybe this would come before showing this image so that you could be like, oh, okay, there's a group of people. What are they looking at? Oh, they're looking at this guy and this guy playing. So that's another thing when you're building portfolios, is to keep in mind the story that you're trying to tell, and the order of the images is so important. I like chronological order, but sometimes one image needs to come before another, and I would think that this image, well, actually, it doesn't even matter. You'd be like, oh, this is backgammon, and you go, oh. But probably I would switch this image first, and then this image next, so that you could see what was going on inside the crowd. Now, this area that we were in, which would be awesome if I did shoot a wider shot of the whole corridor, but I didn't. This was a Muslim quarter that was leading up to the Temple Mount, the gold temple that's on top of it. It's in Jerusalem, where the Muslims go to pray. It's a very holy place. Now, this was the corridor leading up to that, and you had different stalls, and this guy was selling candy, and other people were selling coffees and more tchotchkes from China. But then there's a stair. I didn't shoot it. Simon had a great picture where he went over to the stairs to shoot up. We're not allowed there. Non-Muslims, you're not allowed to go into the temple. You're not allowed up that in that corridor, in that area. And they have a military guard. There's an Israeli soldier who's a Muslim Israeli soldier who stands there and just stands guard and makes sure that everything's fine. And so we went as far as we could. We could take pictures in here. This guy was hanging out. What I like about this image, and I did ask him for permission, by the way. We don't understand each other. But when I sit there and I point to my camera and I point at him and go, huh? Is it okay? And he goes, and he gives me the nod. Well, that means it's okay to take my picture. But I didn't want him looking at the camera, so that's why I went for the candids. These lights, look, I'm going to show you. This wasn't going to be very good in color. Obviously, it's going to be very blown out because of what I did with the black and white. But these lights wreaked havoc. These fluorescent lights were so difficult to work with. And I don't mind the color. I mean, obviously, I don't like the face here. I don't like what goes on there. It could still work. It's a little too glowy McGlowerson, but I like the black and white of this image. So I liked it. I like how this is even from here to here. This is even from here to here as well. Then he was looking at me, so I was like, all right, I'll go with vertical. I like the horizontal better because it shows you more of the area and look how old the stones and everything is. But then I like this as part of a story. Yes, there's a lot of dead headroom, but that's because of the way his arms were. I didn't want to fill him up, move his head up to here because the table and underneath was more dead area. So I went with this, and that's what I came up with. Then we had this guy here. This is interesting. Look, this is where the image started. You can see that there's a lot of backlight, and there wasn't a lot of light on him, but it's coming from the back. The way that you beat the crap out of backlight, for me, I don't like the glowy McGlowerson look. I like the boom, right in your face look. So we've got this look, and that's what the image came out to be. I'm very happy with the results. Looks to be blind in this one eye, but he's looking at me. You've got one guy not, this guy not, this guy not, but boom. He's making eye contact with me right here, like that shot. Then we have this kid right here called me over. Well, I asked if I could take a picture, and he's like, yeah, Facebook. And he gives me his phone, and it's in Arabic. He wanted me to friend him on Facebook, so he changed it to English. I friended him on Facebook. I have to send him this edited picture. He sent me a message, but it's so fascinating, and I talked about this in Raw Talk episode 68, how Facebook connected the world. These guys are big into Facebook over there and wanted to connect to me. Somebody from over 5,000 miles away spoke the language of Facebook. So he friended me on there, and I'm going to send him this picture. So this was a picture of his dad, his brother, I'm assuming, just in their little kiosk. And I did have it in color, but I didn't like it as much. And yeah, you get all these other fluorescent things, and that makes the image cool. But I thought the black and white just meant more because it was about them. And the background is part of it, but the main focus are these guys. And he just had a cool glow on him from the lights bouncing in because we have sunlight coming in, we have fluorescent lights coming in, and I liked it a lot. And what I said when I was editing this photo is I love wide shots that still have a lot of detail in them. You can shoot wide, but don't make your subjects so small that they don't stand out. So then these guys asked me for a picture, namely this guy asked me to take their picture. So they were sitting there just horsing around. I like this. He's the only one looking at me, and it became part of a four image series right here in Jerusalem. Because then there's this, the one guy runs away, the one guy falls off the chair, and they're laughing and having fun, and then they're just still having fun. Nobody's looking at me on this one. And then the final one is just the three of them sitting there for a portrait with their legs crossed. Is he smoking? He is smoking. Pretty cool. You have the details of the backgrounds. The lighting is all coming in from outside, and boom. So now we move over to the Wailing Wall. This is Jerusalem as well, the most holy site for the Jews. And the soldiers go there to pray a lot. The wall is a very special place. It's a huge wall, as you're going to see in the next image. I kept this in color because I like the olive color of the military garb. I thought that worked. I like the yellowness of the Jerusalem stone. I felt that worked. Anybody who doesn't know the Wailing Wall, you can find the history of it. This is the last remaining wall of the Temple of David that was basically destroyed at some point. And remember that Jerusalem is a very holy place, not just for Jews, but for Muslims and for Christians. Jesus was at the Holy Sepulchre. They said that that's where he was nailed to the cross. So, all of this stuff is biblically very important. And I'm not here to talk one way or another about one religion or the other. There's so many there. I wish they would all just get along. Now, just whereas we couldn't go into to the temple, the Muslims aren't allowed past the security to get to the Wailing Wall either. That's just what they have. Same thing on both sides. Then this is a wider shot of the wall. Yes, there's birds flying. I talked about this in the editing video where this wall separates the men's side from the women's side because they segregate the men from the women because they say that the women would be distractions to men because men would think improper thoughts, which I think is a bunch of bullshit. But anyway, Adam is hidden here in the back of the image. You've got Aviv right here. He's doing photos of me, a video of me. But this is the Wailing Wall. I liked it. What makes this image is the ultra-Orthodox guy right here and the praying people in the background. I just wish they wouldn't have plastic chairs. I wish they would have better chairs out there. But anyway, that's that image. Now, moving on to the Dead Sea. We've got this vignetting you see is from the variable neutral density filter that I used for making this image like this. It's something that would allow you to shoot at 4:5, where I wouldn't have been able to shoot at 4:5 with with how bright it is out there at the Dead Sea. Now, this was and also I use it for video as well, the ND filter. It's like a 12-stop ND filter. It was $400. I bought it at Allen's, I believe. We had torrential storms, torrential downpours. You can see the wind blowing across the water. The Dead Sea is also the lowest place on Earth. I believe it's 550 feet below sea level or something. You can see this is Jordan over here and the clouds. I mean, we had flash flooding. We had major storms. The roads got flooded and covered with stones and mud and everything. So we were lucky to get out there. But look, this is what it looked like. And then this stuff is calcified salt. Not a great image. That's why I didn't spend too much time. But this shows you got Rebecca Litchfield right here. She's setting up for her photo shoot. You've got Von Wong setting up for his photo shoot down here because here's his model. Von Wong is, I don't know where he's at in this photo. I don't know. I don't know where he's at. I don't see his crazy hair. But anyway, that's that image. And then this is Adam doing his photo shoot off on the other side of the beach. Like, we were a while away from the other guys just to stay out of their background. And this was Miriam. She was the model. Adam was just showing her some photos that he already captured. It's a good practice to get into, to taking a bunch of pictures but then showing them, because that really will get the juices flowing, per se, figure of speech here, for the model to be like, wow, he's capturing some amazing stuff. And that was her reaction. Hand over her mouth going, wow, these are great. And Adam also agreeing because he's moving around. And yeah. So just Adam and her doing their thing. This is where the image started. I brought the sky back using the, what do they call this? They call it something. But anyway, I like this because there's no other distractions in the image. You can see that it is the Dead Sea. You can see the mountains over here. You can see Jordan over here. You can see the model. You can see the lighting setup that Adam used, our bags. This is to make sure that they didn't blow over again, because the lights did blow over a bunch of times. And then Adam is here directing the model. Then we've got Adam in the foreground with his camera in his hand. I didn't like the color. I just felt it was distracting once I boomified it. But I love the black and white and how thick it is. Now, remember that part of a photo story is showing the location. That's why I shoot the wides, because that brings the story together to allow me to shoot a tight shot like this in context. Because there is nothing here that says, yes, we were at the Dead Sea in Israel. This could be anywhere. This could be in my backyard. It could be in your backyard. But when you wrap it up with a wider shot and the establishing shots, just like in movies, there's establishing shots, and part of a portfolio and everything, this established that and allows me to go ahead and do the tighter shots like this. I didn't edit this one because after further review, I didn't like it that much, but I like this. Boom, Adam doing his thing. And then now we've got the Dead Sea back here, and I did boomify it. But look, the sky cleared up. Unbelievable. The colors started to go boom. And we had this. This is just jumping in, and she had a Hello Kitty Band-Aid on her foot, because this stuff is sharp. This is calcified salt. I don't know how long it took to form, but as the water receded, and it has receded quite a bit, this is hard salt. It will cut your finger. Ultra wide shot showing you everything. A closer. I love having the lights here. You can see the people all the way in the background doing their photo shoot. You have Miriam here, and then just another landscape. Not my favorite. Landscapes are not my thing. I'm not a landscape photographer. I don't do a good job with them. This is more of a snapshot type thing of seeing the storm clouds receding and then the freaking desert heat coming in. Okay, now we're into Tel Aviv, where I am at a fish market. And they just caught the fresh fish. It was like 7 in the morning, 7:14, 7:15 in the morning when we went out there early to get the boats coming in. And so he's picking the fish, and I believe he's just throwing this one. Oh, no, he's not throwing him. He's just taking him out of there right now. And this was cool. I like that shot. Here he's throwing the fish into the bucket. So we established the wide shot with the bucket, and he's pulling it, and then he's tossing the fish into that bucket. Adam did an entire portrait session there of all of these different fishermen. And lucky for us, we had the head of the fishermen's, I guess, union there, who was just bringing these guys in happily, because if he wasn't there, there's no way these guys would have allowed us to take pictures. And Adam got like 20 or 25 of these guys to pose. Yeah, maybe only for a minute, literally a minute, but he was able to make it happen, and his photo story is great. But I love this wide shot. Didn't like it in black and white, liked it in color, because I love Adam's even here, he's here, you've got his bags, you've got the details going on, yet you know what's going on in the image. Then I reverse sides I flipped it, reversed it, and went and shot from the other side in black and white. Out onto the fishermen's, they're still pulling fish. They're throwing it here. This guy's smoking, waiting to buy fish. And then they're just lounging, talking. I don't know what they're talking about because they're speaking Hebrew with the background blown out of focus. But you can see that this is the subject. He's talking to these guys and holding a conversation. Now we've got Ziv Coren, who is a photojournalist, very, very well known in Israel. Captured some amazing wartime images. That's really what he's known for, a lot of those type of shots. And Adam, I just did a interview with him for Raw Talk while Adam waited on the side, and that's Raw Talk episode 68. You can hear the interview with Ziv. Fantastic. Really love talking to him. Awesome guy, one of the nicest photographers I've ever hung out with. He's got all of these books in the background. So Adam's doing his thing. Awesome portraits that he got. I think this is going to be, I think this one that he takes with this frame, when you see his, you're going to be like, holy Jesus, that is awesome lighting. But I love that I have this angle captured to go in conjunction with his angle that he captured. Then while Adam was making some changes, I jumped in. I didn't use the flashes. I just did the daylight room lights, and this is what I captured. Just him getting ready to light his cigarette, lighting the cigarette, and then looking away. I love this shot. I like this a lot. And then Adam doing more of the tight portrait, and I like it because is that smoke? Yeah, the smoke's coming out of his nostrils. It's just a cool scene showing you the setup, the lenses waiting here on the table, all of this other stuff going on. And then we were talking about his new book. It's black and white. I think it's called Black and White, or it's a black and white project. And he had different sample papers, dull, a little bit less dull, and then boomified. And we were all discussing that, and he was showing it to Adam and having that conversation. And then I have a bunch of other ones where he's looking at me, but I didn't like them. I like this, the more contemplative look. And this is his bookshelf. I'm building my book. My bookshelf is built over here, and I'm starting to add books. And I love seeing all the ones that he has because now I can go and buy them to add to my collection. Love books. And then finally, this is one of my favorite candid shots from the entire thing. We've got Adam taking a break from shooting. I switched over to the 14 to 24, and we're showing his entire workspace. Do you see how this says CB? This was Cartier-Bresson's. It was just his slide box that Ziv bought at a flea market. He found it, he bought it, and these were slides at Cartier-Bresson. He kept his slides in here. So now what Ziv does, he does different. He fixes lighters, collects them, and puts them in there. It's pretty cool. But I love this shot. And yeah, I wish that this maybe wasn't here, but as part of the greater story, it's okay that Adam's flashes were in there and that Adam's over here in the corner. But I love the look on Ziv's face that he's looking at me. I love the image. And no, I wouldn't crop it for anything. I think that this is the story. It's wide, but it shows his entire workspace. And that's it. I love this shot. So I'm really thinking about doing a travel thing where I tour around photographing or doing candid behind-the-scenes images of photographers after we do Raw Talks. So kind of day in the life. We hang out, we do the Raw Talks, and then I do behind-the-scenes of them doing their thing. And that's really it, guys. So that's going through the keepers and explaining them, and they're fully edited. If you would like to see the edited, how I edited these images, there's a 48-minute long video. You can click on the screen right now. That's going to take you over there to see that. If you want to sit through 48 minutes and see how I processed it. Of course, you can skip through to the images that you want to see how they were processed, but that's up to you. You have both options to do. So that's really it, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed these images and the stories behind them. Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. See ya. Again, if you didn't watch the editing video and you want to sit through 48 minutes of me showing you how I edited and processed each one of these files to get to the final images that you just saw, go ahead and click up on the screen right now. It's going to take you over to that 48-minute long editing video. And don't forget, you could also subscribe down below. Click on the subscribe button, and that way you can get the latest videos that I put out. So there you have it, Jared Polin. I don't want to do that again. See ya. Bye. Later. Click on that button.